I've just completed an interview for my 5th IFRS 17 role. However, I'm a bit embarrassed. There's some questions I didn't know the answer to. Perhaps a better way of saying it is that I didn't give the clear, short answers that I would have liked to give. It also reminds me how much there is to know about IFRS 17, especially if one has quite a wide role. We talked about debits and credits. We talked about final disclosures. We talked about the reconciliations that happen for IFRS 17. We talked about future periods and some of the terminology and what goes into particular accounts. We just touched on reinsurance, and there are a lot of rules around that, and some of those have changed. What happens when a contract is onerous, or what happens if facts and circumstances change and you want to review that? What are the processes and what effects might it have on particular accounts? How do you disclose that sort of thing? We talked about 3 different measurement models. We didn't even get into the global aspect of IFRS 17, the industry practice, various things that happen in different places. There are loads of amendments that have happened, and you need to keep up to date on these. So overall, it makes me wonder about the wide range of things that you need to know. There's plenty to know about the accounting aspects of IFRS 17, both at a debits and credits, at a chart of accounts, and then moves into the process side of the accounting. Never mind the data and the processes. You need to make sure you can fit everything in. Then there's being able to explain it, being able to clearly and succinctly explain what's going on to people who deal with data, to accountants, to actuaries, to the investor community. It all depends on your role, but there's a lot of skill involved in explaining this clearly. People on the project team need to be able to know enough knowledge for them to do their job. They need to make sure that they can distinguish things and not mix them up. Otherwise, you may get mixed up priorities or, frankly, just issues that get missed off. Is your IFRS team ready? If it's not, you may need to build up a team, and this takes time. People will need to know about insurance, about IFRS 17, a certain amount about accounting, about actuarial work, about data, processes, systems, about the company, about the industry. It's all sorts of things that people ideally would want to know. That may be less depending on the role, but there's an awful lot to consider. And who needs to know what is a question in itself. There are project skills and soft skills on top of all of that. There's another aspect of actually dealing with emergence, dealing with a very wide topic that is still changing. Not all that much, but there could be areas of IFRS 17 where we still get significant changes. You may want to recruit permanent people for the IFRS 17 team. You'll have a lot of people in a few years' time that no longer have a project, but if you're growing, that may be worthwhile. You may want contractors, you may want consultants. Either way, there's certain costs and skills and lags and issues around with each of these, and you need to make sure you get the optimal mix. The proposed date of IFRS 17 is 2022. We need to show a year's worth of comparative figures. If you want live processes to happen in 2021, so that you can build up those comparative figures with the real data, with the real processes, then you really only have about 14 months left. You've got 2 months of December there and August. So really there's only a limited amount of time left before you ideally would be set up to work on IFRS 17. Hiring people, there can be a lag of several months, even with getting contractors or consultants. Figuring out who you need, when you need them, and what they need to know and what you need them to do is very important. Please connect or comment if you're involved in the issues of this video.